on a sun-scorched field, beneath the weight of 60,000 expectant eyes, a lone figure stands poised on a small white spot painted onto the grass. The world fades into silence, anticipation crackling in the air. In that moment, the distance from that spot to the goal feels impossibly vast. This moment is a portal into the past, to a quiet Irish village over a century ago. There, a young goalkeeper named William McCrum, weary of watching his teammates suffer from the injustices of the game, penned a humble letter. The world laughed at him. The newspapers scoffed. In the end, he faded into obscurity, his legacy nearly forgotten. Yet, his simple idea sparked the most dramatic fives. In the late 1800s, football was still finding its footing. Official rules had been drafted in England, and the game was dubbed a gentleman's sport. To play was to embody honesty. To cheat was to betray the very essence of the game. But on the field, the 1880s were marred by a profound problem. Defenders broke the rules at every turn. They tripped, they pushed, they held attackers back with their hands. Some even stopped the ball on the goal line with blatant disregard. The punishment, a mere free kick from a distance, allowing defenders ample time to regroup. Week after week, the cycle of cheating persisted, but the men controlling the rules in England turned a blind eye. They claimed their players were gentlemen, insisting there was no need for change. Yet, one man from Ireland dared to challenge that notion. William McCrum, born in 1865 in Milford, cared deeply for the. By 1890, at just 25 years old, he found himself as the goalkeeper for a struggling Milford football club. His team was far from great, suffering 14 losses and conceding 62 goals in their first season. Yet, it was not defeat that fueled William's anger, but rather the rampant cheating he witnessed. He envisioned a bold solution, a special punishment for fouls committed near the goal. The attacking team would gain a direct shot, with only the goalkeeper to beat. He called it the penalty kick. In June of that year, he sent his revolutionary idea to the Irish Football Association, which forwarded it to the rule makers. What followed was a storm of derision. The English newspapers ridiculed his proposal, dubbing it the death penalty and mocking the Irishman's motion. To them, it was an affront, a suggestion that players were anything less than honorable. Despite the backlash, William remained undeterred. Months passed in silence until February 14, 1891, when the FA Cup's quarterfinal ignited a change. Notts County faced Stoke City, who needed only one goal to win. In a desperate moment, a Notts County defender blatantly handled the ball on the goal line. The referee awarded a free kick, but Stoke's chance was lost. Shockwaves reverberated through the football community. A defender had cheated in plain sight during the nation's biggest competition, and the punishment was woefully inadequate. Suddenly, William McCrum's idea didn't seem so. 4 months later, on June 2, 1891, the rulemakers convened in Glasgow. After years of debate, they finally voted to adopt the penalty kick. It became Law 14. Just days later, on June 6, the first ever penalty kick unfolded in a Scottish Cup final. Confusion reigned among players who had never witnessed the new rule. The referee had to guide them. And then James McCluggage stepped up, striking the ball and scoring history. Yet William McCrum's life took a tragic turn. He faced hardship in his later years, passing away in 1932, forgotten by the world he had transformed. Imagine the irony: the architect of a revolutionary rule leaving this earth in obscurity for decades. The penalty kick served solely for in-game fouls. However, matches that ended in a draw were often resolved in bizarre, old-fashioned ways. Teams played rematches, dragging on endlessly, but in the World Cup, time was of the essence, leading FIFA to resort to a simpler method. In 1968, at the Olympic Games in Mexico, Israel faced Bulgaria in a tense showdown. The match reached a standstill at 1-1, even after extra time, as players awaited their fate in the changing rooms. A referee entered brandishing a piece of paper. Bulgaria had won, and Israel was eliminated. This was not football. It felt like a lottery. A few years later, FIFA pivoted yet again, deciding that teams would resolve ties on the field through penalty kicks. Thus, the penalty shootout was born, ushering in an era where heroes were made and villains too. July 17, 1994, the Rose Bowl Stadium in California, under the scorching sun. The World Cup final between Italy and Brazil reached its climax after 90 minutes, and then extra time. The score remained knotted at 0. The match would be decided by penalty. The first Italian captain stepped up, his kick sailing over the bar, sending Italy behind. As the shootout continued, tension mounted until it reached 3-2 in favor of Brazil. One last chance remained. The legendary Roberto Baggio, known as the Divine Ponytail, approached with a chance to salvage victory. He placed the ball and retreated. The goalkeeper danced on his toes, waiting. With a whistle, Baggio sprinted and struck the ball too hard. It soared high, 3 meters over the bar, and the stadium erupted. Baggio stood frozen at the penalty spot, head bowed, hands on hips, swallowed by despair. That haunting image became etched in football history. In an instant, he transformed from hero to villain. Years later, he would reflect on that moment, acknowledging it as the worst of his career, but also sharing a profound truth. Penalties are only. Flash forward 14 years on a rainy night in Moscow. Another captain faced a similar fate. May 21, 2008, during the Champions League final, Manchester United squared off against Chelsea. The match lingered at 1-1. As the shootout progressed, Chelsea's John Terry stood at the spot, a player loyal to the club, longing for glory. He placed the ball and retreated, but as he charged forward, his foot slipped on the slick grass. The ball veered wide, striking the post. Terry sank onto the wet grass, his shirt covering his face as tears streamed down. The shootout continued, ending in heartbreak for Chelsea. And as they walked off the field, the weight of loss hung heavily in the air, etching another story of triumph and tragedy into the annals of football history. Terry's slip becomes etched in the annals of football history, a moment of anguish that transcends the game itself. It's not a poor kick or a bad choice. It's sheer misfortune. A slip on the wet grass, and suddenly dreams evaporate. 2 captains, 2 cups, 2 careers altered in the span of 5 seconds. This is why do these instances strike so deeply? Why does an 11-meter kick shatter men who have dedicated their lives to the game? The answer is deceptively simple. The penalty kick stands as the loneliest moment in team sports. In the vibrant world of football, players share the pitch, the ball, the victories, and the defeats. Even amid mistakes, hope remains. A teammate can intervene, but at the penalty spot, solitude reigns. 60,000 eyes fixate on one player, millions more glued to screens around the globe. Teammates stand at a distance, powerless to assist. They can only bear witness. The goalkeeper dances on the line, tension electrifying the air. 11 meters, the gap between glory and despair. 11 meters that could etch one's name in history. Research unveils a curious truth. Penalty kicks hinge not on skill, but on pressure. A player poised to win the match converts at a staggering 92%. Yet, when the stakes shift to losing, success drops to a mere 62%. The dread of failure outweighs the thrill of triumph. Different nations respond uniquely to this pressure. Germany, a titan in penalty shootouts, boasts a flawless record. England, German players approach the spot with deliberate calm, moving slowly, breathing deeply, savoring each moment. In contrast, English players often rush, desperate to escape the impending agony, and often pay the price. The lesson rings clear. The penalty kick is a battle of minds, not feet. The most daunting distance in football isn't the 11 meters from the spot to the goal. It's the journey from over a century has passed since William McCrum penned his small letter, transforming the death penalty into a defining moment in the world's most beloved sport. 3 World Cup finals have hinged on penalty kicks. In 1994, Brazil triumphed over Italy. In 2006, Italy bested France. And in 2022, Argentina faced France in a breathtaking finale, where Lionel Messi finally every week across continents and leagues. Penalty kicks alter the course of matches. They forge heroes and shatter hearts. The World Cup returns this summer. In June and July 2026, a monumental tournament unfolds across 3 nations, 48 teams, countless matches, billions of viewers. Amidst the knockout rounds, penalty shootouts will emerge, creating both champions and fall guys, evoking tears of joy and sorrow. Somewhere in this grand spectacle, a young player will stride to the spot, placing the ball with trembling hands. He will lift his gaze, the weight of the world pressing down. Unbeknownst to him, he stands in the same 11 meters once occupied by James McCluggage in 1891, where Roberto Baggio wept, where John Terry slipped, and where McCrum's the penalty kick transcends mere regulation. It encapsulates a moment where an individual faces the world alone. Perhaps, dear friend, you recognize that moment too, not necessarily on a football pitch, but perhaps at a desk, in a quiet room, or in front of waiting eyes. Your own 11 meters, where assistance fades away, and the ones you cherish can only watch in silence, where doubt looms large, and the fear of slipping on the wet grass is palpable. Yet, you walk to the spot anyway. The ones who abstain from stepping up may never miss, but they also forfeit the chance to score, to experience that exhilarating release as the ball. So when your own 11 meters emerge, take a breath, walk slowly, embrace the moment. The grass may be slick, the lights may dazzle, the world may observe, but the bravery to approach that spot